Hello everyone and welcome to another Ask the Expert session with myself and Dave. That's Dave. And we're going to be answering any questions that you guys might have this evening. Now, apparently we are live on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. So we're across several platforms. So if you are watching, give us a hello in the comments so we know who is watching. Let me just get the on Instagram up so I can see that. So because we can't see that. There we go. So if you've got any questions on any of our trips, then this is the time for you to ask them. Between Dave and myself, we will probably have been on most of the trips, most of them. Yeah. So I'm sure we can answer them, or if there's any kit related questions you might have or things like that, then do write them in the comments and we will answer them as we go. We'll start off, Dave, by a quick roundup, I think, of what we've been up to. Yeah. We both just come back from Spain.
Yes, Adventure Week.
Such a good trip.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. Everyone loves it, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, it's such an amazing week away. And I think the biggest thing is when you look at where we are staying, we are 7 kilometers from Benidorm. And I think clients instantly have this impression of what it's going to be.
High rise and bars that people falling out of. And
I mean, which, you know, some of the group did go in.
Oh, yeah, we can all fall out of a bar.
But, you know, but at the same time, though, like the scenery and like, you know, where we go is incredible. And we do 4 different activities. And I think the biggest surprise for me on this year's trip was what people were saying was their favorite activity.
Yeah.
Because we do climbing on the first day.
Yeah.
The second day we do a via ferrata.
Yeah.
Third day we go canyoning.
Yeah.
And then the fourth day we do the downhill bike ride.
Yeah.
Which, when we say it's a downhill bike ride, it's all on roads. You know, anybody can do it.
It's downhill.
It's downhill, isn't it? It's 42 kilometers on really nice, smooth roads.
Yeah.
Going downhill, and
hardly any traffic.
It's not, it's not about like
mountain
biking, is it? It's about going out and seeing the real scenery and having a day
real little villages in the
Costa Blanca and whatever. But the number of people who actually said that was their favorite activity, and it surprised them that actually was their favorite activity.
You think it would be the climbing or the via ferrata, which took people way out of their comfort zone in a good way. I thought that would have been the most thrilling thing, but no, the bike ride seems to have topped it. Yeah,
but I think there was people who enjoyed the via ferrata. There was people who enjoyed the canyoning, and the canyoning it's really funny, isn't it? The canyoning, because I didn't get to do the canyoning last year because I did 2 days of via ferrata guiding that, and then you did a day of each, and then Chris did 2 days of canyoning, and so I hadn't done that canyon before, and you sort of joked with me and sort of said, when we get there, you'll think like you're getting into how did you describe it?
A culvert by side of the road.
A motorway culvert.
Yeah.
And when we pulled up, I was kind of like, oh my God, like what the hell is this? But actually, like, you drop down and
it's a hidden surprise completely when you get there. And even the start, there's a jump in, and you think, oh well, this is okay, but it just goes on and becomes more and more, I don't know, adventurous.
Yeah,
adventurous. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it definitely was, and
a great ending, isn't it?
Yeah, the abseil at the end through a waterfall.
Yeah, some height.
I think what was pretty special was the that slide. Like that's what gets most people in there. It's kind of like you get to. You can see this pool sort of somewhere underneath you, and then you sit on this rock kind of, and it looks
half tube really, like that shape,
and you just get pushed down it, and it's
the speed.
it's quite a tight squeeze, isn't it? Like,
I
mean, you wouldn't get.
I know.
Like, you don't eat carbs, but like, it was but such a good week.
We loved it.
And it's one, and as I've always said before, like. First time we ever ran it was really difficult because we nearly cancelled the first one because we didn't have very many bookings on it.
I think you have to go back to the purpose of it. It was meant to be offering at a very reasonable price some adventurous activities that trekkers would not normally do, and so people, I think, were a little bit okay. It's a good price, but what's going to go on? But what happened was, we took 4 or 5.
Yeah, 4.
And next year book, and then next year book. A group of 10 coming this year.
Yeah. So dates are in for 2026. Yeah. Dates are in for 2027. We've already got a fair few people booked on for next year, but there are still some spaces. Obviously, we are limited to 14 really on that one. 14, 15 we're kind of limited to on that one. So if that one does interest you, Tom has put a link to the Spanish adventure trip in the comments, so you can find out more about that trip there. Silas has put that he's ordered his nappies for the climbing aspect of Spain next year.
Oh, great.
So, I mean, you'll have 2 days of it. I mean, climbing you should be fine at. It'll be the via ferrata that you need your nappies on. Candice has said there, it's a great trip. And, if I think a lot of people, again, this time, I think we had a bit of a mix of first timers.
Yes.
And then we had a big group that already knew each other as well, that had done previous.
But very inclusive, in the bucket this way.
And the nice thing about that one is, we have our own villa.
Yeah.
It's our villa, swimming pool. So we can cook there, we can do breakfast there.
Village nearby.
So short walk up to the village.
10 minutes.
And then our evening out to the Chinese, which you love the trip out to the Chinese, don't you? So yeah, so we've had so we've both been in Spain.
Yeah.
We've had quite a few Kilimanjaro groups going out. We've had 100% success rate over all of the Kilimanjaro trips.
Yeah.
I know one's just landed back today. But yeah, we've had 3 Kilimanjaro groups go out this month. So 100% across all of them, which is amazing
Excellent,
news.
yeah.
So that's really good.
Yeah, it's hard to beat, isn't it?
It is. And you know, we can only really credit our local team of guides for that. Obviously, you know, we've had Jack out there with one group, and we've had Mike out with another group. Right. They obviously play a huge role as well. But you know, our local team on Kilimanjaro is so good, and it's just the things that I think that make our Kilimanjaro trip so successful. And people always say, well, how do you get such a good success rate? And I think it is the speed that the team go at. You know, they give people plenty of time to acclimatise. Yeah. But I also think as well, it's the support that they get whilst they're on the mountain.
Yes.
You know, on summit night, they're on a 1-to-1. Like, you know, everyone's got either a guide or a porter team with them helping. You know, if they see that you're struggling a little bit, let me take your bag. You know, let's have a little break here, and you don't feel left alone then because you've got somebody with you. But you know, it's been amazing because you know every summit photo I've seen has had the full group at the summit, they've all got there round about the same sort of time. Then we've got a trip fly out to Inca Trail this week. Right. So that's a nice group going out there. They've arrived in Cusco yesterday. They arrived in Cusco. So they're getting ready for
lovely city.
So they arrived Cusco yesterday, today. So they'll be starting their trek tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then I head out on Saturday to Gozo, do a scuba diving trip with 13, 14 people.
As many as that.
I know.
Well done.
It's hard, Dave. It's
hard. I know. We all look up to you, Keith.
I didn't want to do it, but
they made me.
Yeah. It's one of those things, isn't it?
Candice
has said you were so well looked after on the whole trek. Summit night is special. And then Nicola has said that she's looking forward to her trips to Kilimanjaro and Mount Tukau, but she's nervous about summit night. Well, I mean, summit night is hard. Let us know, Nicola, which trip are you doing first? Are you going to do Tukau first, then Kili, or are you Kili, then like downgrade into Tukau? Let us know which order you're doing that in.
She's done base camp.
So
she's strong. Nicola's strong.
She's there.
Yeah.
Summit night, I think.
I promise to behave. Yeah, Nikki, no dancing.
Kilimanjaro first. There we go. Well, if you've done base camp already, then altitude wise, you've kind of already.
She'll be fine. She's full of energy
there. I think if I was to give some tips on summit night, what would they be? Obviously, we get you up at kind of like 11, 12 o'clock at night to start the walk. You can go to bed after dinner, but obviously sleep is very difficult in that time. Obviously you're nervous anyway. You're at altitude. It's not your normal time to go to bed. No. So any rest you can get, I think, is always good rest. Even if you're just sat down in your bed reading a book or listening to some music, like you're switching your mind off and your body is being rested a little bit. So that's one of my top tips. My next top tip is, like I always say, you're going to be walking for about 6 hours, and as Candice said there, the sunrise makes it worth it. And the sunrise makes it worth it for 2 reasons. And the first reason is because it is one of the most stunning sunrises you will ever see. But secondly, the reason why it's great is because when that sun finally comes out and you suddenly start to feel a bit of a heat on your back,
I can believe it.
And you just feel better about yourself. Your head torch has gone away. And I always say to people, just push through until sunrise. And if you get through to sunrise, then you'll get to the summit. You'll get there. And my other tip there is to get you through that period is I look for like hour-long episodes of podcasts, and then download like 6 of them.
Right.
And then
I was just thinking, and
then I walk along and I just put one of my AirPods in, so I can still hear what else is going on. But you kind of know that if they just play automatically, you've done an episode of a podcast, 1 hour tip. Next one, 2 hours tip. Next one, I'm halfway through.
Halfway.
Like, and then the sun's coming up in a minute. And I always think that, you know, when it's a hard trek and it's at night, you just spend so much time looking at your watch. And it always seems like,
well, there's no other stimulation, is there?
No.
It's
And
not
you're
like lights in front of you.
well, you can't even tell if they're stars or
No.
like, that's the problem.
It's no good looking at them anyway.
So you're like, I've just looked at my watch 3 minutes ago. Like 3 minutes has gone by. Like, whereas if you're just listening to that, and I find that's really good for keeping you motivated and keeping you going.
Yeah.
So definitely download something, or download 6 albums that are an hour long in duration, so you can kind of use that to map it out. Really, I think that works really, really well. Obviously as well, make sure you've got your water in a bottle. Don't use a hydration pack. It does freeze. Even the water in your bottle starts to get ice around the sides, and it's really cold as well. So if you can wrap it in a sock or something like that, that's another great tip to take with you on summit night. Layers are obviously super important, to make sure you've got enough layers. Make sure you've got thin gloves, thick gloves, because if you want to take your gloves off to do anything, you still want to make sure you've got a pair of gloves on. Buffs are really good for covering that nose up. And obviously, you don't want too much heat around you. I always find like a balaclava is like too much on my face, whereas a buff, you can sort of lift it up and off.
On the back of your head if you need to, down,
really easily. So that works well. And just make sure as well that you don't go and put two, like, you don't think, oh, I'm going to put 2 really thick pairs of socks on to keep my feet warm, because that kind of doesn't work. If your feet are too tight in your boots, same as if your hands are too tight in your gloves, that's going to stop the circulation and defeat the object of the point. So you need to make sure when you're thinking about your boots, thinking about the socks, that even if you want to wear 2 pairs of socks, that you've still got plenty of room in your socks to go as well. So coming up then, you've got any trips coming up, Dave? Or
I'm got a bit of a break now, and then the next trip is Annapurna Circuit.
Oh, you have got a bit of a break.
I have got a bit of a break, not until October.
No, this is my last one actually until September. I got one in September, one in October.
What have you got in September then?
So September, I'm off on safari.
Right, with big camera or not?
Yeah, big camera.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mandatory.
I think I've got 17 on that trip.
Oh,
like big trip, that one.
Right. And then we're off to that.
And then Annapurna base camp.
Oh, you're doing the base camp. That's right. Yeah.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, that looks lovely.
Say I missed it in Nepal last year. I didn't go to Nepal last year, so
well, they all asked after you. I have to tell you that.
Well,
I don't know why.
I did have a message the other day from the barman in Tanzania.
Oh, did you?
When I was coming back. So yeah, he was wondering when I'd be back. So yeah, so I'm a little bit. Yes, I've got Gozo now, and then 2 more, and then that's me done for this year, which is nice. Yeah, I've done some nice trips this year. Yeah. And then Candice is on Annapurna base camp with me as well. Small group on that one. And I think it's going to become I think it could become a really popular trip.
I think it's a lovely trip. It's a great introduction to Nepal. Fantastic.
Shorter trek distance.
And not too high.
Easy in out. No flying to Lukla. Like, I think it kind of ticks a lot of boxes.
And you are remotish. You're not on a really massively travelled highway going up and down.
No. So
that'd be really lovely.
I think once we get some, because it'll be the first time we've actually. I mean, I did parts of the Annapurna base camp trek years and years ago. I did it with the school group actually.
All right.
And I haven't been back and done it since. And then obviously we've always done the circuit. Which
Annapurna 2, 3, and 4, and you're going to do 1.
Which you love that one anyway.
I do.
And I and I understand, why people love that trek, because of it being a circuit. But it is a toughie. Like it's not
tough. It's a really tough day in it, and it is long. You know,
and at high altitude again.
Yeah.
Can you know on par with that.
Yeah.
So yeah. And another thing I want to say is I've actually been really surprised, Dave. Like really surprised,
right.
because I've taken a break from the podcast. I haven't recorded.
Oh yes, I think I know what you're going to say.
I haven't recorded one for a long time, and the reasons why I've kind of taken a little bit of a break was topics.
Right.
Like I was kind of struggling to find meaningful things to talk about.
Yeah.
And also it was becoming it felt like it was becoming a bit of a chore. Like you had to have one coming out all the time. I just felt it was getting a bit stale and a bit.
Yeah.
And then the other reason was because I had 2 puppies that didn't stop barking. And I couldn't record them because every time I tried recording them.
I met them again tonight.
Yeah.
They're not barking. They are lively.
They're being very well behaved at the minute. So anyway, but I didn't realise quite the effect the podcast had on people.
Yeah.
And the number of people who've been emailing into the office saying, "Is there going to be another podcast?"
Yeah.
I haven't heard one for ages. And you know, the team have been going, "Yes, he's just taking a little break, taking a little break." But just to all let you know that the beginning of July, so next week, the podcast will be back. And I'm already ahead of schedule. I've already recorded the next few episodes, so we are good to go.
You're going to give us a teaser about it then, the next one?
Well, the next one. So, I haven't worked out what order that.
Okay.
But just a couple of the ones that I'm talking about. I've talked to the company that we're using for Belize in Guatemala.
Right.
So talking about like all of the good things to go and do.
Yeah.
That was really interesting. In terms of, you know, I didn't know a lot of the stuff he was talking about. And then also I've spoken to the team at Armani, which is the children's home in Kilimanjaro, about their work.
Okay.
And next year is their 25th anniversary for Armani next year. So we are planning a Kilimanjaro trek, especially for Armani.
Excellent.
With proceeds from that trip going to Armani. Good. So if anyone's thinking of climbing Kilimanjaro, then that could be a trip for you when we raise some money for Armani. And as part of the trip as well, it will include working with Armani and seeing the work that they do and stuff like that. So we did a podcast on that as well.
Excellent.
So Anne has said, "Is Dave doing our toot count?"
What month is this month?
Yeah, when are you going?
Yeah, Anne, when are you going? You have to say. There's a number of.
Is it this year or is it? No, it must be. Well, let us know and we'll work it.
Yeah, we'll work it out.
Because if it's next year, we haven't even done the schedule for next year's trips yet. We were still waiting to see if Dave was still going to be here. So
if I know the month, I know which one to avoid, Anne.
October this year or next 25 or 26? Yeah, this year, October.
I'm in Annapurna then.
Yeah, you're in Annapurna. I'm in Nepal.
Yeah, and then I'm in the Sahara after that.
So.
Anne.
Don't know who it might be. It might be Jack.
Yeah, well, Jack's brilliant.
Yeah, you'll have a lovely time with Jack.
Yeah.
So brilliant. Okay, well, if there are no more questions on any of our trips, we are coming close to 7 o'clock. I've got to go and do a Google Meet call at 7 with my Gozo group.
Is that going to be underwater from the bathtub?
No, I'm going to go out in the pool and do it and sit in my pool. But yeah, so like one thing we do now with all our trips is we do a Google Meet the week before the trip goes out, just so people can ask any last minute questions and so on. So I've got to go and meet with those guys now and get them all excited about their trip out.
I think they really need to be.
No, I don't think so.
They're over the moon already. I would be.
The weather looks lovely already.
Yes, it does, doesn't it?
For next week, and the water temperature is rising nicely. But that's it from us. Thanks ever so much, everyone, for joining us this evening. We'll be back in
One
month time for another one.
Yeah, don't
and as we were talking about the Annapurna circuit, let's leave you with a little snippet from Dave's trip on the Annapurna. See you all in a month's time. Speak to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.